Now we're going to tell you about a new test that's available to breast cancer patients at Erlanger. It evaluates specific genes within a breast tumor and provides physicians with information about the aggressiveness of the tumor and the likelihood of recurrence. The results help the treatment team make individualized treatment decisions based on the knowledge of the activity pattern of many genes, and most importantly, will provide information about whether patients will be likely to benefit from chemotherapy. Now, with all that said, we're going to get a better explanation from Janet Kramer, who is Erlanger Cancer Support Services Manager and Breast Health Educator, and Kristin May, who's Director of the Genetic Diagnostic Laboratory at T.C. Thompson Children's Hospital, as well as Erlanger. Ladies, welcome to our program. Now, cut to the chase and tell me exactly what that means.
Well, what we know is about 189,000 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer this year. So the question is, how many of those women truly will benefit from chemotherapy? Up until this genetic test has evolved, the majority of women diagnosed with breast cancer have gone on to get chemotherapy. So now the question begs, how many of those really needlessly got chemotherapy? So that's the goal of this Oncotype DX study, is to determine the recurrence score or the likelihood of a woman's breast cancer having the ability to spread, the ability to recur, and then determine which of those women really truly will benefit from chemotherapy or not.
So you're saying some women probably don't need chemotherapy?
Correct.
Or will not be getting chemo?
Correct.
Then how?
Exciting.
Yeah. Well, but it leaves me wondering how's the battle won?
Well, what we're looking at is the actual genetic makeup of the breast cancer itself.
Okay.
We may have a woman come through who has incredibly small disease, a 1 centimeter breast cancer, but it's very aggressive in its behavior, versus somebody who can have a 5 centimeter breast cancer that is not very aggressive. So even though we have a woman who has large disease versus one with small disease, the question is, sometimes what we know is the woman with very small disease will benefit more so than the women with the larger disease, just based on the genetic makeup of the breast cancer itself.
Yes, and the testing, did you tell me correct, or did I hear you correctly a while ago, is not done there?
This particular test, the Oncotype DX, is done only at a centralized laboratory in the United States.
Okay. Which is where?
I think it's in California.
Oh, okay. So, how do they get the information? How does it get to California and all? I mean, is the test done here and then mailed to them, shipped, whatever?
Well, the testing is done from a specimen that's taken from the actual tumor tissue itself and sent there. And basically what's done then is some material is extracted from that sample, and a total of 21 different genes are looked at. Wow. In that assay. It's an exciting time in genetics, because no longer do we test one gene at a time. We're able to test many genes, because cancer is a collection of diseases, and for breast cancer there are, even though two tumors may look alike, in reality they may behave very differently, because some genes are mutated in some ways in one tumor versus another that will make it more aggressive or not. And so there are actually 16 out of those 21 genes have to do with the aggressiveness or the likelihood to recur for that tumor. And that's what's measured. And then there's 5 genes in there that are kind of used as a sort of as a standardization, so to speak.
All right, is this like, I hate to use the term, but I do, cutting edge technology? This is one of the newest things that's good for the patient as well.
Very much so. Very much so. It's very exciting. Think of the number of women that we will now find out really don't need to have chemotherapy, and so they're spared the short and long-term side effects of getting chemo.
And I guess in a lot of respects that can make that person feel better about their healing, because it always is better if you've got a better outlook on it. Plus the fact that some aren't going to need it, so it'll just be better all the way around.
All the way around.
Yeah, good. All right, if folks have information or more information that you would like, because I realize in this short period of time we didn't get all of it out, you can contact the standard number there at Erlanger, 423-778-LINK, which is 778-5465, and you will find out all about the cancer services that are offered there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure to have you with us. Now we're going to jump to the kitchen, because Mr. Food is there. Good for him.